Okay, Tomas, we've talked about the pre-operation inspection. We've talked about awareness of our surroundings. We've talked about operation of the loader. We've talked about communication and how effective communication is so important. And now let's talk about some lessons learned, some things that have come up from maybe some problems with communication or paying attention to surroundings, or things that happen that maybe we can learn from, that the loader operator can pay attention to a little bit closer to make sure it doesn't happen to him. Learn from somebody else's mistakes. That's the best way to learn. So tell us about some of the experience that you've had, and stories or things to look for that are real life possibilities that a loader operator needs to be aware of.
First off, we'll mention this bucket again. Make sure that if it's not flat and you're digging, it's gonna dig you a hole, and now you're gonna, what that material you're loading out, you're gonna end up bringing it back if you don't pay attention and that you're digging. And
So if your bucket's not flat, like we talked about, level, you may end up with a hole in front of the pile. Then you could get in, there might be a conduit or electrical line or fiber optic line or something like that that's there that nobody had any idea was going to be a problem, because well, there was no digging that was supposed to happen there, but your bucket was not level and you've dug a hole there, and now all of a sudden you've hit something that you're not supposed to hit. Or like Tomas said, you've got a hole now that you've taken the dirt out, you've got a hole now that you got to fill.
yes, so all that, and then overhead power lines, those are the major.
Right, so there's some
have it
overhead
here.
power lines right here. Pay attention to that.
Well, the tipping, it can happen. People will think might not, but it can if you're on an incline slope and you're going in at an angle and you're trying to scoop up a pile, and there's a chance that that material weight is gonna pull that front of that loader and have your bucket, your tire, the back end of your tire picked up off the air, or might even tip over. So those are the things that you watch. Yeah, figure out the way that safely to do it. If it's just not safe to do it with a loader, then there's other alternate equipment that can do that job for that. So
Yeah, and in the another thing is in the mornings, some lessons learned in the mornings when you've got all the equipment is usually parked all together, when it might be near the fuel tank. So you've got other equipment around you. It's in the morning. Maybe the light is a little bit darker. You're greasing your equipment, going around, getting ready for the day. But picture the situation here. You've got a bunch of equipment, maybe 3-4 pieces of equipment, all parked kind of near each other. You got people on the ground in the morning. They're just getting started. The light might be a little bit light, not too much light, and you're getting ready to move your machine. You go through the process 360 and honk the horn. You're still wanting to pay attention. Those are the hazards that you really need to pay attention to. So some lessons learned there. That's if any piece of equipment bangs into each other, those are the kind of times that it happens, is when they're all right around each other, kind of just getting started, or they're at choke points where you've got maybe you've got 2 pieces of equipment passing each other in a turnout to a job site. So they're getting in close proximity to each other, and you got to really pay attention there. So it's still about paying attention to your surroundings, and things like that can happen when you're not paying attention. So those are some of the lessons learned, and hopefully you can learn from those, and it's all really about paying attention and operating the machine in a safe manner.
yes, just those. Communicate, talk about it, ask questions. You're not sure, better, it's good to ask questions instead of just doing it and thinking that it's all right.
Yeah, there are no dumb questions. You know, we would only take exception if you're asking us the same question every single day. You know, then you're not really, either you're not paying attention or you're not understanding. So, which could be our problem too. We might need to explain it to you a little bit better in a different way. So, you know, try to ask the question clearly, and then make sure you understand the question before you leave that conversation. All right, well, good deal. Well, I sure do appreciate it, Tomas, today taking us through this orientation. I think this is going to be a lot of help for our loader operators, and just make sure that we're communicating with each other and operating the machine in a safe manner. Pay attention to those safety features. Do the 360 walk around, honk your horn, pay attention to your surroundings. Make sure you're communicating. So those are the things we talked about. Our pre-operation inspections, make sure you do those every morning. You can go back and refresh on that video. Being aware of your surroundings, making sure that throughout the day, before you start, as you're operating, and throughout the day, check your surroundings, look at the changes, just observe what's going on and where your role may be in that whole process. We talked about operation of the equipment, the loader, making sure that you know, you're operating it, you got your seatbelt on, you're operating in a safe manner, your speed is reasonable and controllable, you keep that bucket down below your sight line, your cutting edge needs to be flat with the ground when you go into a pile or picking up a windrow, all those things. Go back and refresh that. Communication, can't stress how important that is. Make sure you understand what you're supposed to be doing. Pay attention in those morning huddles, your toolbox talks. That's your time to make sure that you're on the same page, and find out what you need to be doing if you finish up that first task. What task do you go to next? That's your opportunity to kind of get ahead of it. Then you don't have to stop in the middle of the day and ask the question. You know where to go next. Stay productive, stay in the area that you're supposed to be working in, communicate, and you know, use all those tools, good eye contact, and honk your horn, all those tools that we talked about. And then just refresh on those lessons learned. If you have any lessons learned, you know, share that with one of your crew members. You can talk about that during your safety toolbox talks, or you know, you got a young operator that's working with you, or somebody that wants to learn, you know, share some of your lessons learned. It's like I said before, it's always the best way to learn is from somebody else's mistakes. So if you can do that, there's always an opportunity out there. So again, I appreciate it, Tomas. This has been great. Thanks for your time and information, and work safe, and we'll see you out there.
Thank you. I hope everybody likes the video, so watch it and learn from it. Let's keep safe.
Thank you.